Modern day slavery is white people getting rich off of black culture, black fashion, black style, black bodies, and not giving them any credit, and not only that, but shaming black people for doing it.
I just want to say it was never the celebrities or the rich or the influencers that were ever actually influencing the culture. They were always stealing that shit from us. Whenever these directors and filmmakers want to make a movie about the underdog, they take inspiration from our stories, from our oppression, from our culture, from the atrocities that happen to us. When they want to look for, new fashion designs, Vogue looks to the culture. Vogue looks to people of color. Vogue looks to the streets. What is poppin'? Okay? They look to us, constantly look to us, because it is us who drives culture.
They trying to do acapella African. Ever heard of Lady Smith Mambazo? That's a famous African acapella group. They trying to do some shit like that. And she's going, ah, yeah, 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 ah, yeah, yeah, yo. They just yelling shit out. Ah, yeah, yeah, yo. That's what they do, practicing their blackness when we ain't around. I had to say something. I'm not let you get away with that shit. Why don't you do something white? Why don't you all be singing, here comes the sun, diddly-hoo. Here comes the sun, all right, it's all right, doo-dee-dee-doo-dee-dee-doo-dee-dee-doo-dee-doo. Something like that. Coo-coo-ca-choo, Mrs. Robinson, done and left and gone away. Hey, hey, hey.
Why this woman has not deleted this post yet, but she made a post that was talking about cleanliness and saying that it was cultural, and basically saying that because black people used to be enslaved and they were dirty, that they have embedded it in their culture that they need to be more clean. It was fucking weird. I don't know. Here's what I have to say about it. She needs to go do some research on the African Moors. African Moors went into Europe and literally told the Europeans, you need to bathe. There are germs. This is why you're dying. This is why you're having diseases spread like crazy. Get the animals out of your house. They went and taught Europeans how to not be disgusting. What are we talking about? One more thing. I really hate when people talk about Black history as if it started with slavery. Africa was and is a wealthy continent and had kingdoms, and Mansa Musa was the wealthiest man in the world. They had the first major library. They had amazing architecture. They had the Dahomes, which is the female warriors. There's so much more history there that people ignore and just think everything started at slavery, and that shit drives me crazy.
Everybody loves Black culture until it's time to respect Black people. Let's talk about something that's been happening for decades, but now it's louder than ever. Black Americans have been warning people, you can't keep borrowing the culture while disrespecting the creators. And now, it's everywhere. The music, the fashion, the slang, the dances. You scroll social media, and you'll see people from every corner of the world moving like us, sounding like us, dressing like us. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The same culture that gets copied for profit comes from people who still struggle for recognition.
Now time for cultural appropriation. So we outside, I'm outside taking a walk into the sunlight. So I'm looking at this video, man. I said, I got to talk about this shit. It's one of them little retreats. White folks love going on retreats and shit. They love going on retreats, and I'm telling the truth. They love to go on retreats, somewhere far in the woods, and they love doing, tribal shit, They love doing tribal shit in their way. They never stick to their own shit. What would be their own shit? This song is bugging me. I don't know what the hell it is. They're going, yeah, yeah. There's a girl in the middle going, yeah, 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 yeah. Yo, yeah, 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 yo. Trying to be African. They trying to do acapella African. Ever heard of Lady Smith Mambazo? That's a famous African acapella group. They trying to do some shit like that. And she's going, ah, yeah, 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 ah, yeah, yeah, yo. They just yelling shit out. Ah, yeah, yeah, yo. That's what they do, practicing their blackness when we ain't around. I had to say something. I'm not let you get away with that shit. Why don't you do something white? Why don't you all be singing, here comes the sun, diddly-hoo. Here comes the sun, all right, it's all right, doo-dee-dee-doo-dee-dee-doo-dee-dee-doo-dee-doo. Something like that. Cuckoo, cuckoo, Mrs. Robinson, done and left and gone away. Hey, hey, hey. Stop it!
Why are white people using black folks' New Year's traditions? Like that's gonna work for you. It's not gonna work for you. Who's gonna tell them it's not gonna work for them? Y'all eating black-eyed peas and collard greens and cornbread for good luck and good fortune, right? As if y'all weren't the reason our ancestors needed the good luck and good fortune hundreds of years ago. These were spiritual practices to protect us from you. Whose ancestors are gonna help you with that? I'm just asking the questions. Our ancestors had to do this in resistance to your ancestors. And you're gonna use what our ancestors did in resistance to your bloodline? I don't understand it. But I don't understand a lot of things that y'all do. You're eating grapes under the table like it's a quirky little thing. My people had to hide food. They had to hide eating. You're not making connections. You're not connecting these dots. I'm about to have some collard greens and black-eyed pea leftovers because that's my ancestral birthright. Okay, you're just getting gas for shits and giggles, literally. Going to the new year with colonizer energy is crazy behavior. I would not personally want that on my spirit. But that is some crazy spiritual energy to start a new year off with. Well, now that I think about it, you are kind of following your ancestors' footsteps. Wow. Colonizer energy, even in the spirit. We are just all fulfilling our traditions. All right, respect to the ancestors, everybody. My bad. Happy New Year.
Now, listen. Can you hear the drums? Can you? Yes, I can. I can hear the drums. I can hear my people. But I can't see my people. You see? Now, that's the problem. I can hear my people, but I can't see them. So apparently, this was a Swahili festival in Aarhus, Denmark. African drums, African dance, African fabrics, but not a single visible African face in sight, except maybe this little girl, this mixed girl in the circle there. Now tell me, how do you have a Swahili festival without Swahili people, without East Africans, without Africans at all? How do you have such festival? First, it was a Pan-African Family Values Conference in Kenya with 7 white men as keynote speakers. Now, it's a Swahili festival in Denmark with a group of white women dancing to African drums, tied in African fabrics, and not a single African in sight. You see, this is not cultural appreciation. This is cultural cosplay. This is, we love your rhythm, but not your struggle. You tied a kitenge on your waist and called it celebration. Where are the African elders, the Swahili speakers, the stories, the soul? Do you know what Swahili even means? Do you know its connection to the coast, to trade, to language, to identity? Or did you just Google African dance and then go with the vibes? Africa is not a theme. Our culture is not your yoga. Our traditions are not costumes you dust off for weekend entertainment. No. Now, here's the irony. Africans, the real ones, the real Africans, are often told to assimilate, integrate, tone it down a little, blend in. But somehow, you think this is a celebration, right? When we do this, it's too ethnic. It's being an Englishman in New York. But when you do it, it's artsy. This isn't about gatekeeping, right? It's about context. If you want to celebrate us, include us. That's all we're asking. Respect us and stop pretending that African culture means something when Africans are not even allowed to define it. Respect us. That's what we're asking for. If you are going to host a Swahili festival, then center Swahili people, or call it what it is, what it really is, a European drum circle in African drag. Plain and simple. Stop pretending. You can be us without us. Include us and respect our culture.
I got in trouble for this, but when I was in high school, I wrote a paper about how white people can pick up black culture when they see fit, usually when they're younger, and then when they get older, it's outdated, it's like too much, and they let it go and they go back to their white lives. And so this trend of there was once a time is making me think about that, because a lot of these people, not all of them, some of them I'm sure they still have black friends, but a lot of them are like, you know, my life is so different now, I would never do that. They're not saying it explicitly, but you know, it's there saying that I had my time and now I'm ready to be a mom, I'm ready to make sourdough and just live a different life, as if it's something you can just put down. People can't stop being black, but you know, when you're done with black culture, you can do whatever you want.
Modern day slavery is white people getting rich off of black culture, black fashion, black style, black bodies, and not giving them any credit. And not only that, but shaming black people for doing it. I'm not talking about all white people. I'm literally half white myself, but I'm talking about white people that steal black ideas, black music, black culture in any way, and don't credit the original source. Just as you would need to credit an original artist, just know that a lot of y'all's culture comes from a community that's literally oppressed, that is literally shamed for the very culture that is being stolen.
There's always been a big question, were black people robbed of their culture, or did they preserve their authentic African culture? And what Soul is saying is that they were robbed of their culture, and so they picked up the culture of the people around them. And the people around them were rednecks. And if you look at the white redneck culture and the black redneck culture, they have a lot of the same values. They don't particularly respect education. They love Jesus. They use violence in their conflicts. And even Ebonics, which is, black English, is actually all from the west of England.
What?
It's from the west of England. So, for example, if you go to places like Cornwall, they would always say, Devon knows how they make it so creamy. And they all talk like this, right? And so it doesn't sound like black English. But they do say things like, I be doing that, and we be doing this, and they be doing that. And so there's that use of that copula be, where instead of saying I am, you are, he is, she is, they are, they just say I be, you be, we be, they be, which is the classic feature of black English, African American vernacular English.
Now, people go get mad at this white guy for saying this, and you know why? Because people don't know who Thomas Sowell is. Thomas Sowell is a black man who wrote a book called Black Rednecks and White Liberals. And in his book, he explained this whole theology of how black people were robbed of their culture. It's just a simple fact. I mean, they came from Africa. They were taken apart from their families. They didn't have a common language. They lost all of the culture over generations. And what did they adopt? That's why I always argue it's not black culture. It's degenerate culture that black people have adopted. The same with white, the same with whoever adopt this culture is going to find themselves in a very similar situation in America and across the world. It's that simple.
I really hate when y'all be talking about white people not having these conversations, white people not having these conversations. I don't give a fuck, and I'm not having a conversation with them. Like, y'all be acting like y'all saying some profound shit. They're not ahead because they just talk about getting money every time they with each other. They not ahead because every time they get around them, it's a productive ass meeting. That's not why they're ahead. They're ahead because they stole shit. Like, they stay some thieves. That's why they're ahead. Not because every time you come around and they talk about how to make 2,000, 100 million, billion, trillion dollars, okay? Like, get that shit up out of here. Now, don't get me wrong. It is okay to be tired of having certain conversations, like tired of having 50-50 conversations, tired of having who get a plate first conversations. That's valid. Granted, I be tired of them fucking conversations myself, even though I add to them sometimes just for the drama and for the mess. But just be tired of the conversations. Don't be trying to act like we can't have these conversations because the white folk ain't doing it. Who gives a fuck about what they talking about? Not the fuck I
have something to say. So you click this comment, it's going to take you to a video where it was a 2000s theme party and everyone was dropping on theme. And basically this comment describes how I interpreted the video, which is it's a bunch of white people appropriating black culture. And let me show you the video creator's response. This was the response. And as you can see, I like the comment because I like this response. However, I agree with the commenter, which you can see I like that as well. The thing is, I think so many non-black people don't know how to appropriately engage with black culture because everyone feels entitled to it, that it's just been like normalized to exploit it. And so I feel like when a bunch of people are commenting that it's giving appropriation, not appreciation, it's time to take inventory. And also a lot of people in the comments were saying it's giving Billie Eilish dress-alike party. If someone's comparing you to Billie Eilish instead of actually black culture, that's the time you need to reflect. Because if people are comparing it to Billie Eilish instead of the actual culture of influence, that's problematic as fuck. But also the fact that this is a party of close to 10 people, I didn't actually count the amount of heads, and you all decided to take inspiration from the same fucking culture, which is black, and no one divvied up from that. That's weird. Like, how do you not think that's weird? And also just the persona of all you guys taking on of being black is also fucking weird. Like, it's not just that you dress from black culture, it's also that everyone's like grabbing their crotch, trying to act like a rapper per se, like the Billie Eilish effect, literally. Like, it was giving Billie Eilish in an appropriating way, not in a cute girly pop way. And there's just like so many popularity around the 2000s. Like, no one wanted to dress as a Disney star. It's just like really fucking weird. I've gone to a 2000s themed party and I, as a black person, didn't even dress as like popular black themes. Like, what's that say about you? And I don't know, I follow this creator because I like a lot of their videos and I find like their style like very fascinating, but even sometimes it rubs me the wrong way because I feel like they're appropriating a lot of black culture. And I feel like a lot of white queers do this, especially white LGBT plus, because honestly, you're not queer if you're exploiting other marginalized groups. Hopefully this is giving call in, not call out, but also even if it's giving call out, not trying to coddle.
So I find this comment very interesting. This person basically says that white women stealing everything from black women is so tired and completely false, and I should just be happy for women, period, who are trying to make things better. First of all, we're not doing that. This is not completely false. We've seen white women who have stolen from black women. If it's not the facial looks, like the lip fillers, I could go, the BBLs, the hair, the changing of the name of the hair. I saw someone who basically said that they're calling baby hair sticky bangs now, and they're doing it. So I don't know what you're talking about. Stealing from black women or black people dates back to even colonization. This is not something that just started yesterday. If you do some research, you will see. And this is conversations that we need to keep having because cultural appropriation is not okay.
I still don't understand why black Americans are gaslit into sharing their heritage and culture with everybody else. And I honestly come to realization that that's exactly why Mauna Leo got the backlash that she did, because my thing is, because at first I wasn't paying this no mind, but now, okay, I see why they was irritated. You supposed to be celebrating your community heritage, and you go inserting everybody else who celebrate and prioritize their own community heritage. Just because, you gotta understand, just because everybody want to be included, you cannot make everybody happy. You can't. And the reality is a lot of politicians and the goal of a lot of people was to always erase the black Americans out of their own history. That has been in a process, that has always been the plan since years ago, like hundreds of years ago, when people was coming into America, or before, when it was first founded as America, I believe, coming into America and signing their name on the paper as Native American, when everybody was not indigenous to America, because the plan was to destiny swap and obtain wealth. You being indigenous to America has a lot of wealth attached to it, and now a lot of people are in here, like I see, for an example, a couple of Haitian TikTokers may be on here saying that, oh, we're indigenous to America, and I don't think they realize or know that a lot of people back in the days were signing their names on a paper as indigenous or Native American for beneficiary reasons, right? And oftentimes it's like, this is some of the shit that has been going on prior to like the newer generation or people today. And I don't think black Americans understand that the more you share your culture and heritage with people, more of an opportunity they have to destiny swap with you. Like the girl in Florida who said that Haitians and Jamaicans built Florida and made it what it is. That was a complete slap in the fucking face. And you got the other Haitian girls saying dirty black Americans. And it's like, and then you have Haitian people in the comments saying things. And I hate to go in like this because anybody who know me know I fuck with Haitian women. Where I'm from, but you barely find Americans. So, but because I don't want it to sound like I'm going in, but it's like, I'm a person, I keep it real. And I think my friends didn't know that though. But the reality is, right, it's like, You have people in the comments saying, oh, Americans used to make fun of us. Americans made fun of every fucking body. They made fun of American people. I got cracked on and made fun of every fucking day. So you thought because, I don't know, maybe you was of a different descent when you got here, or when your parents brought you here, you thought that you was just going to be different. You got to understand, if they cracking on their own people, why the fuck would they not crack on you? Everybody got picked on in school. So that's not your excuse to call Black Americans dirty Black Americans, especially when if it wasn't for Black Americans, nobody would be in this motherfucker. And all I'm going to say is, to the Black Americans who out here still trying to play Captain Save-A-Ho, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. That's how we ended up in this situation now. And that's how we ended up having people of different descent feeling like, for an example, because Kodak is famous, he made Florida what it is, and he made Black American culture what it is, when we already was the shit before he was even born. He's just doing what we doing. But we've been doing all of this shit. Why you think some of the things you see in Florida, the boys in Louisiana doing it, and the boys in Cali doing it, and the boys in Georgia doing it, the boys in the Carolinas doing it. That a lot of this shit is American heritage. It's not Haitian heritage. Saying that Chevys, don'ts, block parties, people wearing golds in their mouth, diamonds in their mouth, wicks in their head, wearing big chains, flashy cars, all that is Haitian and Jamaican culture. The music and all that is Haitian and Jamaican culture. You disrespectful as fuck. That's very disrespectful. And this is exactly why I told y'all, in one more generation, if Black Americans don't rename everything that they created to Black American culture, they stealing y'all shit. They gonna put their name on it. And that's why you have so many people of different descent getting on the internet saying that, oh yeah, we indigenous to America, this is our land, and not realizing that a lot of people were contractors with the indigenous tribes. They worked in exchange for crops. So, but being that they see their name on the paper, or they people on the paper, they think, oh nah, we indigenous, we just that and the third. It's very wild. I don't know. A lot of people like to come in the comments and say things like, oh, why can't we all just get along? We all Black. It's not about Black. It was never about Black. Never was. Even back in the days, it wasn't even about Black. Even down to, I guess, the slavery shit, all that shit was not about Black. The reality is, I even seen documents of the slaves who came in here, and it was not us. It was not us. That's why it's called his story, because it's his story, not our story. That's why they moved everybody into the Black American communities, because the goal was to mix us all in, to make Black, to make the newer generations to come think that it's not a Black American thing, it's a everybody that's Black thing. Wait till you find out most of these political people are of immigrant descent. Why would you think they're moving to America to help your ass? When a lot of people come to America to have their kids, and they have their kids, and then their kids get into politics. When their kids get into politics, guess what? They get to make laws for you in your damn house. You see that? That's why we have a lot of people like, it's like, if you ever see the movies, right, with different tribes and different peoples, and you know, like, about tribes, right? When they migrate to different countries or different lands, they set their flag there, and to like let people know that this is their land. A lot of people moving to America throwing their flags in Americans' faces, basically letting y'all know that this is their shit. They claiming y'all shit. And I know it may sound far-fetched, but it's no surprise or no coincidence, right, that all of a sudden everybody keep on saying, oh yes, I'm a victim to America too. Oh yeah, we indigenous. And oh yeah, this is our Heritage Day or Heritage Month. Oh yeah, we just opened up a new museum. We just did this and we just did that. And they all waving their flags. The goal is to make this shit they house. That's what they're doing. I'm sorry to say it, but it's just the truth. And now they're on the internet saying that it's not a Black American cultural thing. It's a Florida thing. Oh, no, bitch. It's a Black American thing.
That's the contradiction. Because how do you love the rhythm but ignore the reality? How do you monetize the style but dismiss the struggle behind it? Black culture didn't just appear out of nowhere. It came from survival, from creativity under pressure, from turning pain into expression. And now it's global. Afrobeats in Europe, hip-hop in Asia, braids and streetwear everywhere. But recognition? Still selective. And that's where the frustration comes in. Because it's not about gatekeeping culture. It's about acknowledging origin. It's about saying, this came from somewhere, from someone, from a people. And if that acknowledgement never happens, history gets rewritten. And when history gets rewritten, ownership disappears. So the real question is, at what point do people stop consuming black culture and start respecting black people? Because one without the other, that's not appreciation, that's extraction.